reaction on the websites of the various newspapers. So let's have a look at Record, and they're feting Chicharro. That's the 22-year-old striker Javier Hernandez, who scored in the 9th minute of the second half, setting Mexico on course for victory. And they say that he's known as Chicharro, or the little P, showed the potential of the Mexican side to win. Also in the paper, they're looking over to Ireland. Why? Because of course Ireland were prevented from qualifying because of Thierry Henry's handball. And even in the Mexican press, they're talking about an offer made by Pizza Hut, the restaurant, to give free pizzas for every goal scored against the French. A little bit of a publicity stunt. So they were offering 350 free pizzas for every goal scored. So the paper says, thanks to Javier Hernandez and Blanco, the Irish will enjoy 700 pizzas for free.
Oh,
so there you go.
You should go home for that.
I know, I've missed out on it. Maybe somebody can deep freeze them for me. Now moving to the Irish Examiner, Cork-based paper. France's finals fate out of their hands. So of course the use of hand there as a reference to Thierry Henry's handball. And they say the Republic of Ireland may not be in South Africa, but supporters of the boys in green will have savoured France's defeat to Mexico last night. Another team dressed in green, ironically.
Oh, of course.
And so few will shed any tears at their current plight. To add to the delight of those of a bitter disposition, there was more than a hint of controversy about the second half goal that put Mexico on the road to victory. Hernandez's goal looked suspiciously close to being offside. What goes around does indeed occasionally come around, says the Irish Examiner. Now, the French press is no less critical. If we have a look at L'Equipe sports paper, it's the front page headline is imposters. So they're saying that the team were more or less footballing imposters. They were just useless altogether. And so they go on to say there should be no sadness, no desolation, certainly not any anger. That would be to give too much to these men who themselves gave nothing. Let's not hold back. Let's mock them, the paper says. Let's mock Raymond Domenech, smothered by his own ego, which is dwarfed only by the egos of his players. Very critical too of the French Football Federation. They say that the emblem should be a headless chicken and not the cock. There you go. It couldn't be more critical than that, really, could it?
Certainly not.
Now, perhaps the only person in the world being criticised as much as Raymond Domenech at the moment is Mr. Hayward, the head of BP, who appeared on front of the Energy Committee of the US Congress yesterday. He's been called the America's most hated man, and he's been very heavily criticised in the press for his equivocation at that committee hearing. He apparently said it wasn't me, kicked the ball into touch, essentially, and said that 7 investigations were ongoing and that it wouldn't be right to draw any conclusions for now, that he wasn't personally involved, etc., etc., etc. Also in The Guardian, they have a little sketch of Hayward, and they say that he was like a nervous statue under a whole flock of pigeons, and he grimly accepted that the committee was about to do what pigeons do from a greater height.
Okay.
What could that be? I don't know. And he also apparently he gave himself away by appearing to be busily crocheting a pair of invisible socks. So apparently his hands were, I tend to do it sometimes with my pen, kind of
Obviously
knitting.
just, yes, worried.
Worried, very, very worried indeed. Now, we'll finish with an article in the New York Times, and this is about a top-rated TV series in Turkey. Now, Turkey, a Muslim nation, usually they'd be very, proper, etc. But one of these series, you've got car crashes, foreplay, babies out of wedlock, affairs, all this kind of stuff. And what's most interesting about this is it's being exported to the Arab world, and these are Muslim characters, and it's having a huge success across the Arab world. And this in the New York Times is saying that American television series could only dream of the success that these Turkish series are having across the Muslim world. So the increasing influence of Turkey across the Arab world, I suppose.
All right, James Creedon, thank you very much indeed.
Thanks, Anna.
All right, let's just remind ourselves of the international news headlines now.